kitchen now. Welcome back. November is Native American Heritage Month, and our next two guests are fostering real change through food. We love that by making Indigenous cuisine more accessible to everyone. So, since opening in 2021, the restaurant Owamni in Minneapolis, I jog by it all the time, has drawn rave reviews, earning the Oscar of the food world, a James Beard Award for Best New Restaurant. Give it up for the Sioux Chef Sean Sherman, as well as Chef Ethan Denny Broker, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you. I was so happy that you came here. The chef and I were laughing because on the card here, let me just read you. It says Sean's background. He was a burned out cook. Yeah, and a trip changed your path. No, all joking aside, we were laughing about that. How did you not stumble, because I believe life is a series of happy accidents and luck. How did you stumble onto this career, my friend?
Well, for me, I started working restaurants at a really young age. So I was only 13 years old. I grew up in South Dakota. I was born on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I'm enrolled with the Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe. And then so I started working in restaurants when I was really just a young kid, all through high school and college. And after college, I moved to Minneapolis, not really knowing anything about Minneapolis, except for this is where Prince and the Replacements were from, basically, right? And then
and that's cold. Enough for a lot of people right there.
And it was cold, but I moved here and I just kept working restaurants, and I moved my way up to a chef, and I had a pretty good chef career in uptown, downtown, and a few years into that career, I just had the realization of the complete absence of Native American anything in the food world, that you could find food from all over the world, just not from where the land we were standing on. And so for me, growing up on a reservation, it was really meaningful to try and understand, like, why aren't there Native American restaurants? Why aren't there Native American foods that's normalized out there? And it set me on a path to want to change that.
We could literally, Chef, you're so damn good. We could literally stop the segment right there. But yeah, no, I talk about this. Yia.
Oh yeah, absolutely, great friends.
Chef Yia Vang is a regular on here, and we talk about this all the time. I love that food is a vehicle for him to share his culture. I would imagine you feel the same way, my friend.
Absolutely. Food is really a language that we utilize, and chefs, like, we've been able to be lucky to work with people all around the world, and to connect with Indigenous chefs on a global scale, whether they're from the Americas, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, wherever. It's just that we have this connection as Indigenous peoples on a global scale that we can show off our foods, and we can really talk about our amazing diversities and start to celebrate diversities instead of being afraid of people that are different, but actually coming together and especially sharing a plate together.
Absolutely. Let's get a little preview. You brought a few things, and again, when you come visit us, no matter where you're watching from, it's such a beautiful location on the riverfront. What are some of the items we're looking at here,
Ethan,
Chef?
why don't you take this?
Yeah, Ethan, what do we have?
So here we have our stuffed pumpkin with a fall pesto, including sage. And then a walnut sauce around the edge.
Okay.
Here we have our carrot tartare for the vegans and vegetarians out there that can't have normal tartare.
Yeah. So this is a vegan tartare.
Yep.
You gotta love that for the herbivores. There we go. Thank you.
And then over here we have our bison picana with pumpkin seed oil, chili crisp aioli, and charred tomatoes.
Yeah.
Chef, let me ask you what, again, going back to Yio, foundationally for the Hmong culture, the Hmong cuisine, a lot of veggies, different types of meat. For people that this is new, because obviously, like you said, there isn't a lot of restaurants around. What is foundationally some of the core aspects of Indigenous cuisine?
So when we're looking at Indigenous cuisine, and part of our value system is purchasing from Indigenous producers. So we try and use at least one Indigenous producer in all of our recipes to make sure some of those food dollars are going back into that production. So thank you.
Yeah.
And so, like, we're utilizing a lot of Native American heirloom corn, beans, squash, sunflower seeds, chilies, things like that in the agricultural scene that's been going on for countless generations, long before Europeans showed up. And also just an immense amount of wild food, because Indigenous peoples across the whole continent had this massive education of all the plants around us and all the trees around us, because there's wild tubers, there's fruits, there's all sorts of greens and plants. We use a lot of tree species and things, and there's just so much more plant diversity in this diet, and it's really healthy. And everything everything here, by cutting, like our goal was to showcase indigenous foods, and we cut out colonial ingredients, meaning things that were introduced to us, right? So you won't find any dairy, wheat flour, cane sugar, beef, pork, chicken, and we're just focused on this Native American agriculture, wild foods, game meats, and just kind of showcasing what's possible and looking at what is true North American foods.
I love it. I love it. Can you talk to us? Tell the audience, Chef, tell the audience about the Food Lab, or what is the Food Lab?
Yeah, so we created everything here as a part of our nonprofit, including our restaurant, because the restaurant is a place where we have job creation, because we have over 100 jobs at this one restaurant alone. 70% of our staff identifying as Indigenous. And then at the Food Lab, which is in South Minneapolis at the Midtown Global Market, we've created a Native American market space, so you guys can go into that market and buy a lot of these cool food products like wild rice coming from tribal communities, corns, things that we process ourselves like cornmeal. And we're getting ready for the holiday season, so we have these, we're going to have these gift packs basically, so you guys can buy a pantry box or a gift pack for somebody else. You can have all these ingredients to help with your holiday meals, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holiday you might be celebrating. But we just have this option of being able to sell these foods right there, and you can also order online directly through our website.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, if you're watching from other parts, go online and then make sure when you come visit, head to the restaurant. And I should not be shocked that you were really good at appearances like this, because, I mean, hell, you're a TV star now, for heaven's sake. What is it? What was that experience like for you?
You know, I just appreciate all these opportunities to be on these stages, to talk about this important work, because far too long Indigenous cultures have been invisible in America. And now is the time to really understand the land, the history, the culture, some of the struggles that we've gone through and still go through as Indigenous communities. And for us, it's all about creating food access and education, because where I grew up on Pine Ridge, we still have really bad unemployment, like over 70%. We still have very little food nutrition access, and all this work is really trying to change a lot of those things, get people to want to eat healthier, you know? And we just want the next generation of kids, when they're going out to eat, you know, they want Chinese, they want pizza, do they want Native American? Like, we just want to be on the list, bro. Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, now that's a perfect way to end it. Give it up for Chef Sean and Ethan, everybody. If you're visiting Minneapolis, be sure to make a reservation at Owamni. Also, you can learn about their mission at
Natives.org.
Thank you, natives.org. It's been a long night. We'll be right back in a moment, everybody. Chef, what an incredible pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Ethan, so much, guys.